Zombie is an Italian-made spiritual sequel to Dawn of the Dead. While the film's pacing will test your patience, the film features some intense and gory sequences that you will never forget. Those sequences more than make up for its pacing and its few campy scenes. Reanimator is inventive, fun, and gory. The characters are likable, and the film builds to a satisfying climax. It's a fun horror film that wants you to enjoy yourself with its antics. Return of the Living Dead is a comedic and sometimes gory film. It is not afraid to poke fun at itself. Despite its comedic nature, the film still manages to offer a few creepy scenes. The film is watched best with a group to maximize its fun. This film is often considered responsible for reviving the zombie genre, despite its director not considering it a zombie film. Whichever boat you may be in, the film is effective in its scares and intense frantic action, but it excels in its depiction of humanity as they face the end of times. The drama is sometimes more frightening than the infected themselves. This Korean film puts emphasis on characters, making the horror more suspenseful and sometimes more emotional than one might expect in this type of film. The action is not forgotten and has a realistic intensity to it that can leave you shaken. Evil Dead 2 is a combination of remake and sequel to the first film. It takes what worked and expands on it, giving us a tongue-in-cheek horror film that can be wildly frightening and at other times hilarious. It's a rare sequel that can stand up to the original and, in my opinion, is more enjoyable than the first. Many films since have copied the simplicity and genius of Night of the Living Dead. The story is simple. A few strangers use a house as a fortress to defend against the undead. It's the film's simplicity that allows for the characters to not only fear the undead, but must also contend with each other. It's full of suspense and shock, all the way up until the credits roll. The characters are well written, and despite the film's age, it remains incredibly relevant and frightening. Before Peter Jackson became known for making the highly successful Lord of the Rings movies, horror fans knew him for his over-the-top and extremely gory, yet hilarious zombie film, Dead Alive. Despite a low budget, the gore is top-notch and is often so over-the-top it's funny. Its only fault is in its pacing as the film drags a bit in the middle, but then makes up for it with a super exciting and bloodbath of a climax. Hopefully one day Peter Jackson will surprise us with another horror gem. Shaun of the Dead pays respect to the zombie genre and George Romero. It has a social commentary story that is wrapped in comedy. The jokes are so well written and acted that even those who hate horror or zombies cannot hide the laughter and enjoyment. It does not skip on the gore, which the genre is known for, but does make it digestible as it is often in a humorous context. Shaun of the Dead is truly a masterpiece of the genre and a comedic treasure. No other zombie film has come close to the genius of Dawn of the Dead. Its social commentary, tension, suspense, action, and gore are all at its best. The film is rarely dull and features strong, likable characters you root for. There is very little to dislike or hate about this film, which is why it is the best zombie film of all time.